We're going to line up our next 1v1. Of course, we've got 5 of these to kick off our morning here in the International Wildcard. So we are going to see another fun matchup here. I believe that's Revolta on the left, of course, from the Brazilian All-Star team. And junglers, I have to say, he's going to take on Whitelotus here, the AD carry from the CIS squad. This could be fun. This is definitely going to be an interesting game. Revolta is absolutely the best jungler in his region. That is what I have been told. Absolute. And going up against Whitelotus, he's an AD carry. Naturally, they've got the mechanics to perform well, but can you get out mechanics by a jungler that is this good? I mean, that's the thing for Revolta, is he is known for being mechanically excellent on the likes of Lee Sin. He's a big Jarvan player as well. We already saw one ban, so we could see that come out here as well. I just love whenever junglers play in a 1v1 tournament because I just don't know what to expect. Yeah, well, we saw Kennen from the last one and Heimerdinger as well, so they could pull out absolutely anything here in this. Well, we are going to get straight into it. There is Revolta is going to be taking on Whitelotus. Caitlyn there, of course, another ban, very consistent here for these two teams, as it is going to be taken out as Whitelotus going to consider his first ban here. We've seen a lot of Urgot, a lot of MF, a lot of Lucian bans, and there's the Urgot once again. We've also seen Kennen win twice, and now a LeBlanc as well. So will they be targeted at all, or do these guys not even know that they can play those champions because they don't have that role in them? I believe Revolta also has Rengar in some of his played champions, so could see that be quite brutal potentially with all the brushes here on the map, but 5 seconds left. What's Revolta's second ban going to be? It is Misfortune, but the AD carry bans do continue. So I do like the AD focus against Whitelotus in particular. He's been referred to as Imp. It's his idol. It's what he looks towards being like as a player. Exactly. That means he is overly aggressive. If he has Flash, which I hope his coach said don't take Flash, he will use it in their face. He won't flash away ever. Doesn't like it, as he is going to look for his second ban. Nidalee, actually, I mean, was a jungle champion for quite a while this year. Certainly something that Revolta's got in his playbook. Look at that smile. I think he knows. Maybe he got scouted just a bit, or maybe he doesn't play it. And he's just having fun, as Kennen does get a ban there. Yeah, nice to see Kennen taken off the board. The Nidalee ban definitely did warrant the smile. I don't think Nidalee is very good in a 1v1 if you can play the appropriate champion into it. The question then says, does Whitelotus have something up his sleeve that would do bad against Nidalee that he wants to play himself? Well, there is LeBlanc actually banned away by Whitelotus, so Revolta going to consider his pick along with the ladder AD carry. And Revolta, nice hover to start things off here. And I think understandably, Whitelotus, you mentioned, Imp is a big idol there. Does look for AD carries first off. Yeah, definitely should lock in an AD carry. If he goes Vayne, I'd be very surprised. He's against the jungler. There is a lot of chance for cheese. Yes. I think you should know, generally when you play Vayne against the jungler, you're trying to keep them off you the whole time. So Whitelotus probably has that in the back of his mind, as they are hovering so many fun champions here. Yeah, I really hope Revolta does go something outrageous. Okay, that's look, I get your wish. There's limits. I want outrageous. This is disgusting. No. Quite literally, Yorick the lock in there for Revolta. He's got a big smile on his face, and a Kalista actually for Whitelotus there. Very different pick. Not a bad 1v1 champion, but he gets so many benefits from having a support. And Whitelotus, unfortunately for this, cannot bring his support with him to this 1v1. Yeah, you can't connect to a Poro with your passive either, Whitelotus. That would be amazing. I guess he has to sell the spare item slot if it ever comes down to it. It'll be interesting to see how this Kalista does go into a Yorick who is very kiteable, to say the least. Has a slow, has a move speed if he's in melee range already, and just has a lot of sustain, and is probably going to be the most annoying person in the world to play against if you're Kalista. And I love this pick from Revolta. You said it already. Disgusting was the word I believe you used to describe it. We expected maybe something like Lee Sin, Jarvan. Rengar honestly was on the list for me. And we saw the Aatrox, and you can kind of see the theme developing, where it's like, okay, let's play these like very aggressive jungle champions. And then just bails out and goes for Yorick. Yeah, they were going all in. We've got that kick at level 6. We've got the Aatrox level 2. And now he just wants to sustain and, I guess, tilt Whitelotus until he loses. Well, we'll see how Whitelotus can hold up here 1 versus 1 on Kalista of all champions. But again, a fine, strong early game champion. He's going to be a little weaker without the support there, of course. That poor spear just sitting in the inventory. But Revolta will shamble out of the base here as well. A little late actually out of the gates, but Torrent Shield Potion versus Dawn's Blade with Exhausting Knife for both of them. Revolta might be on the farm train. He has a strategy, doesn't he? Certainly does. Farming against a Kalista is very doable this early. Not a lot of attack speed, not a lot of sustain. You can kind of poke Whitelotus out of this lane. And with a Torrent Shield, sure, why not do that? You can see the Emax already there for Kalista. Does get a bit of rend damage. Revolta, he's going to sit there with his Duran Shield. He does not care.
Both Yorick and Revolta are laughing at that exact scenario. So I don't think he's going to be too worried. See, has the E ready. That's the life steal.
Yep, and that to me seems like the max as well here. So could be tricky to CS here. Kalista, of course, very good at picking up creeps with rend as well. He's going to be hopping around, trying to keep control here. Revolta trying to slap down his first minion, will get it, but Whitelotus going all in on that aggression.
So there was actually a fairly big misplay from Whitelotus there at level 1. The Ren didn't kill the minion when he was trying to just poke Revolta down. So a lot more damage could have been placed onto this Yorick that has now gone completely awry.
And look at all this health he gets back. I mean, Revolta might struggle to get the CS here against Whitelotus early on especially, but he is probably not going to die.
Yeah, roughly 30 back every auto.
Well, that was a huge amount of damage as Revolta will hit level 2 and get a bit of extra health back. Whitelotus looking very aggressive on this champion.
As he needs to be, because if you ever give Yorick a slight advantage, you're throwing away the game potentially, because the poke, it's just gross. I mean, look at it. He has to kite back ghouls, and they're so hard to click.
And we didn't think about this, but we talked about 100 CS. Yorick actually unfortunate in this game mode.
Losing himself the game potentially. He's got 2 CS, 3 now himself. He's now out of mana, and a very mana-heavy champion against what is basically free CS.
Yep, every ghoul he kills does count towards the total. So I believe Whitelotus can also get 100 CS by killing ghouls as well. Whitelotus getting a little low, but does have a potion spare. Going to deny that relic as well. Ignite though, he's going to go all in for it. Damage is down, Revolta getting kited back, but he's so low and just can't quite finish it off.
We said it about a minute ago now. He has no mana. He can't afford to do this. He can't afford to stay right now. He's just going to hang at the turret because, again, Whitelotus is pushing him in.
And that's all the summoners down as well for Revolta. Ignite still for Whitelotus. Can deny some of that healing. And level 4 now as Revolta's going to get pushed back into his turret. 20-5 is the CS differential.
This Latin American AD carry is showing he has the mechanics up against Revolta, who, look, he's cheesing. He's definitely cheesing. And it's backfiring right now.
Certainly is for the moment. Revolta will see if he can sneak in a recall, but is dangerous with the creep wave this far pushed up.
He has nothing to buy. He has 390 gold. He wants a tier, I would imagine, for the money. Get a crystal.
Might just want health at this point, but none of this going to come quickly, at least, for Revolta. Whitelotus continuing to hammer down these minions. Kalista does push very quickly.
Now, Carbon did say earlier that nobody should ever get to the 100 CS mark. Well, I feel like Revolta is taunting him into going for it.
Yeah.
Just by being Yorick.
And there's a longsword. Potions there as well coming out for Revolta, so he's just going to stick to the early game aggression. Whitelotus should be able to deny this relic as well. Just building up the CS now, going to rend it away, start getting tower damage down as well. And he has so much CS for this point in the game.
Yeah, he has a lot of gold here, Whitelotus. 975 for himself. Will he just go for some more Doran's Blades? The question, does he want to go pickaxe with some potions? There's anything that he can do, whereas Revolta, he was limited to a single sword.
Yep, and a couple pots, and that's all he get. Vamp Scepter actually for Whitelotus. Gonna keep it safe. Doesn't have any extra money by the looks of things. So walks his way back. Left his relic there as well, so potentially could get denied here, but Revolta hasn't pushed that far up yet.
So I do like the call from Whitelotus. He's basically had a win condition thrust upon him, and he now says, well, I can just farm. Let's get some sustain so that Yorick cannot push me out of this lane. Not only that, he saw the longsword from this Yorick, who doesn't have a very large mana pool.
I don't think Whitelotus is going to be leveling that ulti either. I don't know if he can, because he can't use it. But with all the rend stacks that are happening here, and the lead he's gotten on CS in particular, it might not matter here as Lotus just missing that Q out. As the ghouls are going to come back in, but again, going to just happily take the CS here. Oh, misses both ghouls.
Yeah, absolutely no benefit for Whitelotus leveling that ultimate. Revolta smartly going to go back to base again, but he didn't get it all the way to the turret. So every single last hit here from Whitelotus, except that one, should go to him.
Yeah, Kalista, of course, can't cancel those autos, so it can be tricky once you commit, but Rend makes it relatively simple. And you can see 3 points in the Rend, 2 in the Q. Don't need the W either, really, on this map. No partner to help get extra soul mark damage with. So Whitelotus, again, Kalista sort of a different 1v1 champion, but working out nicely here.
Yeah, super mobile, and just happened to be put into a game where he's against someone who he can kite endlessly, and it's just working out very well for him, as he is almost halfway.
He has so much CS here in this game. About hit 50 as he does just ting it there. Revolta ulti himself, I guess. That'd be hilarious, by the way, if he gets the first blood from Yorick ulti.
It's like a Shaco clone, but a little bit different because it's not as good. Doesn't blow up.
Well, you can see it is continuing to take damage. Ghoul does live there. Revolta does have a Mana Crystal, so going to have a bit more here as the AoE's down that wave. Actually, 2 points in W and 3 in the E. So ignoring the Q for now. Probably thinks that he can't get in range to slap her.
This is just such a guilty pleasure type of game right now from Whitelotus. Every single Ghoul, he just says, well, I'm just going to kite them back, try and rend them if I can. And even if I don't, I am still that far ahead in farm that it does not matter whatsoever.
60 CS now at 6 minute 20. I mean, 100 CS does take a while on this map, but Whitelotus moving at a very quick clip as he just kites the Ghouls back, doesn't get the second one, collects the relic though, and he'll continue applying pressure. Revolta's got to do something here. He is so far behind in CS.
He's got his summoners back up again, ready to go now. You can see he's gone for the Mana Crystal to try and sustain a little bit more, get maybe a prolonged trade in there. And he's definitely doing damage, but it's not enough against the Vamp Scepter out of Whitelotus.
Yeah, and a genius buy, honestly, there from the ladder AD carry. Having that sustain ready to go. Yorick, of course, needs sustain as well. This might be it, though. Exhaust down, Ignite as well. Revolta moving in for a Whitelotus is so slow. And that's it, first blood from the Rend.
It just came down to necessity from Revolta. He was so far behind, he knew he had to do something. The summoner spells were available, but he didn't even have the mana to use his ultimate, I don't believe, at the end of that trade.
No, I don't think he had it potentially. Might have. Yeah, it went all in with the W and the E.
There you go.
So just wanted to try and get the kill. It was probably a few mana off from that last spell, but that Rend did crazy amounts of damage and does secure the execute there with a very impressive Kalista 1v1 by Whitelotus.
Yeah, definitely. Showing the mechanics that Whitelotus has. He's very good at this Kalista, if there's anything we can take from this game. Yorick, maybe not a good champion for 1v1 is something else we can take?
I enjoyed it.
But if you're giving them free farm, you know?
True. I mean, it can be awkward on that front. And we saw 40 CS, I believe, before the kill happened there for Whitelotus. Like you said, pretty much necessity there for Revolta by the end of it. Having to go for an all-in. Got it close, but couldn't quite get it done.